I was gonna do a stream. I was gonna talk some boxing. I was gonna talk about Tyson Fury because this thing with Tyson Fury is a scandal, and you guys have seen for your own eyes how bogus mainstream media is. Now you see how full of it they are. And this is why you shouldn't believe next to nothing that they say. And of course, I'm gonna talk about, Bud more than likely coming over to the PBC. Look like he's looking for real estate in the PBC neighborhood now. Now I'm gonna give you fair warning. The new obstacle was some of these PBC apologists gonna try to put in front of Bud, because all they didn't had to hide behind was, he need to come over to PBC. He's really not serious about making fights and all this kind of stuff, and trying to blame everything on Bob Arum, when in fact that Al Heyman is just as much to blame for Bud not getting marquee fights on the PB side as Bob Arum. But I'll get to that later. But anyway, let me start off talking about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury should be the most... I'm sorry. After this, I don't see how you could be a fan of Tyson Fury, how you could even respect Tyson Fury. But I know somebody... And if this isn't exercising white privilege, I don't know what it is. As you can see, the mainstream media has been quiet about this. The boxing media has been quiet about this. Now, it was so funny if you go back in time when the whole Glovegate situation started. The first thing that was coming out of people's mouth, we need proof. We need proof that Tyson Fury did this stuff that you're seeing. Oh, you're just saying it because he's white and all this. Oh my God. It was just every excuse in the book. But we need proof. Oh, we need proof. But for some reason, Tyson Fury, despite his very shaky past, got all of, you know what I'm saying, the benefit of the doubt. He got all of the benefit of the doubt. You had anybody that supported Wilder or even brought this up, they was vilified. We was hating. Wilder need to accept his loss as a man. He need to be a man. He need to do this. And I'm going to get to Wilder in the solo video, because I'm going to just give my opinion on the whole Wilder thing, what he should just do. Because like I said, I got a lot of love for Wilder. I really do. I respect that brother to the fullest. I know Kwame Brown wants to talk to him. We gonna see if we put that in, and we gonna see if we hook that up. But yeah, Tyson Fury is the biggest joke in boxing. And this just goes to show you the cowards that a lot of these so-called boxing fans is, these trolls, because they ain't even boxing fans. They're racists, they're bigots, they're just all around scum. Ain't nobody said nothing. Everybody been quiet. The obvious is looking you right in the face, but they won't say nothing. I mean, this man's supposed to had caught the, Razor Ramon. But yet this man is out renting cars, hanging out at casinos, taking pictures, walking around with no mask. Okay, so what's really going on? But won't nobody say nothing. Won't nobody say nothing. Tyson Fury Won't nobody say nothing. Tyson Fury out. But stuff. What do you think? Okay, is anybody gonna have that same energy? Where all these boxers at? Why ain't they saying nothing? This is what I'm saying. PBC supposed to be so pro-black. Ain't nobody said nothing. Where Floyd at? Where them dudes at? Where them dudes at? That's all I'm saying. What's up, man? Where everybody at, man? Where the PBC? Where the PBC at, man? Where the PBC brothers at? Speaking out on behalf of Wilder, and we didn't call Tyson Fury out in the streets. Ain't nowhere to be found. I mean, come on, man. This dude is in Vegas taking pictures. I mean, Tyson Fury is just, I mean, for real. Let that have been a brother that had did that. You would have all these self-righteous, these self-righteous know-it-alls. Aren't you guys going to do a video about Deontay Wilder out in the streets? And how could Deontay Wilder be so unprofessional? He's supposed to be quarantined. Ain't nobody said nothing about Tyson Fury. Because he part of the complexion protection team. Man going to UFC events. I mean, for real. This is like the biggest, and they all in on it. I believe what Bob Arum said the first time when he said that, Fury was fully vast. That's what I believe. I believe it was the first one. Not the, I went and got a half a shot, and then I decided not to get the other shot. Like I said, Tyson Fury walking around, thumbing his nose up at everybody. He didn't thumb his nose up at boxing, at Wilder, the commission. I mean, the WBC. The WBC need to get involved. Tyson Fury should be stripped. He need to provide paperwork showing that he really tested positive for the 19. But I think the WBC have more than enough evidence to say, you know what, Tyson, enough is enough. And that's what I'm saying. People wasted their good money going, getting a hotel room, plane. Man, I'm glad I didn't. Man, I'm glad I didn't go buy no plane ticket. And I was finna go to that stuff. Oh, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Because I'm saving that for last. So I'm definitely gonna speak on that now. I'm definitely gonna speak on the Buzz situation. He finna give everybody what they asked for. He gonna give all the nut huggers. He gonna give all the, these fake content creators, these fake pro-black content creators. He finna give them everything they asked for. But as far as Tyson Fury go, like I said, I don't see how anybody can respect that dude after this. If I'm Deontay Wilder, and I'm just going to say this about Deontay Wilder. I got love for Deontay Wilder, but I think Deontay Wilder should just sue Tyson Fury. I think he should sue everybody involved. It is just obvious that Fury do not want to go forward with this fight. It's obvious that Fury is further proving his guilt. We all heard what was happening to Fury in camp. He was getting lit up like a Christmas tree. He was getting lit up like a Christmas tree. He had black eyes. They said he got knocked out on his feet, and he knew what was coming. He not focused, and he just like, okay, I need to find a way to get out of this fight. And basically what he trying to do, they told him, hey, either fight Deontay Wilder or retire. What he trying to do, I think he trying to wait this out, and he gonna try to go fight Anthony Joshua and try to take that belt. I think I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think even if they rescheduled this fight, I think Tyson Fury somehow, some way, the next trick he gonna do, he gonna suffer some kind of injury, and then he gonna try to postpone the fight again. He's gonna try to get out of this fight again. And the thing is, ain't nobody. And here's the thing. Let's go back to 2017. Let's go back to 2017 with Andre Ward. Now, when Andre Ward won the first fight versus Sergey Kovalev, it was controversial, not to me. I thought Andre Ward won that fight. I thought Andre Ward had a good second half. And I thought Andre Ward clearly won that fight. Now, a lot of people thought Sergey Kovalev won. But then, what happened when Andre Ward said, you know what, I might retire. I think I've had enough. I may retire. You had everybody coming on my channel, LDBC channels, other random channels. Oh, Andre Ward is a coward. Andre Ward is a coward. Andre Ward is trying to get out of this fight. Andre Ward need to be a man. Andre Ward didn't win this fight. He owed it to Sergey Kovalev to give him a rematch. Okay, and Andre Ward ran it back, and he stopped Sergey Kovalev. For those who've been following my channel, you remember that. Y'all remember that? They was calling Dre a coward. They was calling him a coward. But they ain't calling Tyson Fury a coward. They just quiet. They just quiet. They just like, okay, well, this will go away. We'll pretend that this never happened. How could you, and I'm being honest with you, how can you respect anybody that ain't saying nothing about this? Guys like Marcos, guys like the snitch, the snitch with the boxing boys, that dude. Now, I'm going to give Ellie Setback a pass because Ellie Setback never tries to rock the boat, so I'm okay with Ellie. I'm going to give Ellie a pass because Ellie never tries to rock the boat. He tries to stay neutral with everybody. But Marcos, all them other dudes, they showing they true makeup. All these other dudes, then the ops, all these anti-LDBC channels, all these anti-my channels, where they at? Nowhere to be found. Ain't said nothing about nothing. So from this day forward, don't ask me to say nothing about nothing. Don't tell me what to say on my channel. Don't tell me what type of videos to make. Don't say a damn thing. Hey, what's up, J-Dog? Yeah, hey, J-Dog, I already know you gonna speak on this. Tyson Fury is a complete joke. Why the mainstream media haven't said nothing? It's just they have just slapped us all in the face. I mean, they has slapped us in the face so hard, I feel like Tina Turner from What's Love got to do with it. I'm talking about they have just ignored this. They act like so I guess we imagining this stuff, right? This man is in casinos taking pictures. This man is out buying cars. He's supposed to be quarantined, walking around with no mask. And then, if there really is if there really is a new one, there's people that's gonna see Tyson Fury that may really get that stuff, and then they're gonna be walking around in public. Oh, well, Tyson Fury, he had it. He went places. That's because Tyson Fury didn't have. Tyson Fury is sending an all-around message. I've never seen such unprofessionalism out of somebody in my life. He ain't got no hope insurance. Capadonna in the building. What's up? Yeah, I mean, this dude is this dude Tyson Fury did pulled out the platinum. Nah, he ain't got platinum. He pulled out the platinum white privilege card, and it then got swiped. I'm talking about people. People is just quiet. It's so obvious to where people can't say nothing. They just like, we ain't even go say nothing. We ain't even go say nothing. We just go act like it didn't happen. Oh, it happened. The pictures is out. I got the pictures. I got the receipts, and I'm saving these pictures. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send some of these pictures to J Dog's email. Tyson Fury at casinos taking pictures, renting luxury cars, but he supposed to be quarantined. So like I said, if I'm Wilder, I'm just suing everybody. I'm just like, you know what? The hell with everybody. I'm suing everybody. I'm calling everybody out. Why none of these damn boxers did said anything? See, this is like what I'm saying. Andre Ward got called a coward when he said he may retire and not fight Sergey Kovalev. People demanded that Dre fight Sergey Kovalev again. Man, it's like this, Aubrey. If you condone what Tyson Fury did, then you ain't no real boxing fan. You don't have no morals. You don't have no integrity. If you doing boxing videos, you need to stop doing boxing videos. Like I said, I've never seen such unprofessionalism with Tyson Fury. But then, here's the thing. Tyson Fury talk a whole bunch of stuff. And see, this is what I'm talking about. He talk all crazy, but nobody says nothing how Tyson Fury, how much trash he talks. But then now everybody always holler about how unprofessional Adrian Broner is. But ain't nobody said nothing about Tyson Fury. Ain't nobody said nothing about Tyson Fury. So this just goes to show you where we are. This just goes to show you how the media treats certain situations. This is why you shouldn't take ESPN serious. This is why you shouldn't take Fox serious. This is why you shouldn't take a lot of these other so-called boxing channels serious, because they all have an agenda. Like I said, if I'm Wilder, I'm suing everybody. That's what I'm saying. There's people that's out of thousands of dollars who went to buy plane tickets, pay for hotels. Then the casinos, it's a lot of out of a lot of money they would have made, on bets and everything. So, like I said before, people trying to make Tyson Fury out to be some sympathetic figure. Oh man, do you know what he went through? Like, see, this is what I'm saying. Whenever, there's no sympathy for us. We do anything. We the worst people on the face of earth. Well, so-and-so, he had a drug. Oh, he shouldn't have been on drugs. Well, this happened. He shouldn't have did this. Man, I'm so glad I didn't. Man, I'm so glad I didn't pay for no hotel room, and I almost pulled the trigger too when I seen how cheap the ticket was starting to get. But anyway, enough. Like I said, anybody that try to defend Tyson Fury after this, just please stay the hell off my channel. And if you come on this live stream trying to defend him, please clap him or her. Anybody that come on here trying to defend Tyson Fury, please pull the trigger. Okay, so now let's talk about something else. Okay. Oh yeah. I want to say this right now. It is zero tolerance for any PBC nut huggers. Any name calling, moderators, block them immediately. If you want to have a discussion, you can have a discussion, but there will be no name calling. You won't be calling Bud out his name. You won't be called. We gonna act like adults. No super sensitive Tito Jackson, PBC Al Heyman supporters. Okay, so now, shout out to Bernie the Boxer. I gotta get Bernie on here, man. I gotta get Bernie on here. I'm working on, I'm gonna get Bomac back on here. But shout out to Bernie the Boxer. Shout out to Coach Red. Okay, shout out to Team Bud. Now, I already knew this information a couple of weeks ago, because I was told by somebody that's close to Bud that Bud wasn't going to go back to Top Rank. At the end of the day, enough is enough. This is my own personal opinion. It ain't my job to tell somebody where to go. But at the end of the day, I did see the obvious. We all saw the obvious, where Bob Arum was blatantly disrespecting Bud. And then he wasn't telling the truth about Bud, that he not a draw. First of all, I went to see Bud in Vegas versus Jeff Horn. It was like 11, 12,000 people there. Remember that fight got put together on short notice. Remember that. Remember that fight got put together on short notice. The Jeff Horn fight. It had to be rescheduled. And that fight had like at least 11,000 people. And Bud sold real tickets. And then Bud sold out Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska. And Bud is able to get 11, 12,000 in Madison Square Garden. So when people make it look like, and that's the funny thing, but you don't hear none of these dudes talking about how Tyson Fury was selling 2,000 tickets in Las Vegas before the second fight with Wilder. Nobody ain't talking about how none of these are the black channels. Nobody ain't talking about how nobody came to see Lomachenko when he fought at the Staples Center. But now Bud is looking for property on the other side of the street. Now, I'm going to make a prediction. Now, let's just say Bud does go to the PBC. Let me tell you what some of these simple-minded knuckleheads going to say. I don't want to call these dudes. Let me tell you what they going to do. They going to try to throw a gauntlet and throw a monkey wrench. They going to try to throw... This is what they going to say. Oh, Bud need to fight Boots Ennis. If he want, this is gonna be the first thing that come out their mouth the moment he's officially with the PBC. Oh, he need to fight Ennis to prove himself, to prove that he worthy of Errol Spence fight. But then when you ask, well, why don't Errol Spence fight him? Then people go, because that's always been the narrative with Bud. That's always been the narrative. That's always been the narrative. These people been hiding behind Bob Arum and hiding behind Al Heyman for the longest. I know for a fact that Al Heyman didn't want to make fights with Top Rank. I promise you, as soon as Bud is officially with the PBC, they gonna start. Then all of a sudden, you gonna have certain people trying to matchmake. I'm gonna tell you now, Ennis ain't fought nobody the caliber of Bud. He ain't fought nobody the caliber of Bud. He's not ready for Bud. He looks good, but I'm telling you right now, it's a difference between limpiness and then Terrence Bud Crawford. You talking about the number one pound for pound fighter on the planet. Number one, number two, depending on who you talk to. But see, that's the thing. And I'm going to tell you something else. This is real talk. You know why a lot of these dudes get mad at me? Because I blow their asses out the water. I'm going to tell you something else. A lot of these dudes is going to be rooting for Zepeda to beat Bud. Just like they was rooting for Kell Brook to beat Bud. I promise you that. I promise you that. Just like a lot of them dudes was rooting for Kell Brook to win that fight. Because they use these excuses about interviews and all that kind of stuff, which is complete baloney. Bud has always been the biggest threat to Errol Spence. And see, here's the thing. If Bud should take the fight, because he gonna knock Zepeda out anyway. I already told you, it's the same thing with Canelo. Canelo ain't getting no Caleb Plant unless he sign that 3-fight deal with PBC, because that's what PBC want to do. They want to have people signed to them. They don't want to do no real outside fights, and that's been going on for the last X amount of years. He was doing Tyson Fury Wilder is because of the contract. But like I said, I promise y'all, I've been doing this way too long. I promise y'all that's gonna be the first thing that come out these dudes' mouth. Cause see, they panicking now. They panicking now. Because they wanted to hide behind this. Oh, Bud is scared to come to the PBC. Scared of what? Scared of what? That don't even make no kind of sense. See, a lot of these dudes, like I said, started watching boxing a few years ago. See, I've been watching boxing since the late 70s, 80s, 90s. Like I said, I saw Muhammad Ali versus Larry Holmes. I saw Muhammad Ali versus Trevor Burbick. I saw Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns 1. I saw Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. See, I saw all them fights. I remember when Sugar Ray Leonard retired for the first time. I remember the commercials. And like I said, now boxing is more about politics instead of legacy, instead of entertaining the fans. Because for the most part, that's what they would try to do. Like I said, I saw Larry Holmes. I remember Larry Holmes versus Jerry Cooney. Larry Holmes versus Randall Tex Cobb. All those guys. ABC Wide World of Sport. I remember Mike McCallum. I remember Julian Jackson when he damn near killed Terry Norris. See, all of a sudden, the last 6 years, you didn't have these excuses about networks and all this kind of stuff is why we can't get these fights. It's trash. I know my boxing. Like I said, they could get fights made back then. Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe didn't have the same promoter, but they act like it's just so hard for promotional companies to make fights. At the end of the day, the fighter got to sign the contract. And then here's the thing. I don't have nothing against Errol Spence. I'm going to be rooting for Errol Spence to beat to beat Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence is a brother. I just didn't like some of that stuff that Errol Spence was doing behind the scenes. I didn't like what his team was doing. I didn't like what the PBC was doing. That's all. That's the only issue I had with Errol Spence. I knew behind the scenes they wasn't really trying to make that fight with Bud. Like I said before, nobody see you have, and I'm really finna get at these fake pro-black niggas, cause I'ma say this stuff. They full of crap. They pick and choose what they want to report. On the real, have Errol Spence ever showed support for Bud? Is Errol Spence really trying to fight Bud? Because Errol Spence ain't never came to none of Bud's fights. But Bud did came to PBC events. He didn't came to Errol Spence fights. But the funny thing is, Errol Spence took his ass to Canelo's fight. But none of these so-called super militant channels ever want to put that info out. So you go to the Mexicans fight, but you don't go to your black brother's fight and show him some love. But you'll call Manny Pacquiao to the ring, challenge him to a fight, but you won't let your black brother in Bud. And see, hardly none of these niggas reported that stuff. And like I said, a lot of these dudes be mad at me because they think I'm supposed to follow their script. I told you I don't work for nobody. I don't answer to nobody. I'm my own boss. I don't ask nobody their permission, can I do a video? See, nobody wants to talk about that. See, nobody wants to bring that up. But then you want to hear this stuff about, oh, you know, Bud a slave and all this stuff. Always hide behind that drag. But nobody can explain that to me. Errol Spence can go watch Canelo fight, and I don't want to hear this stuff about, oh, well, that's because Canelo fought in Dallas. Well, Bud came to Dallas. It's always excuses. It's always excuses. It's always excuses. How you not gonna let your own black brother, but then you be trying to talk all that F Gucci and all this stuff, but then you wouldn't let another brother get in the ring to challenge you to the biggest lucrative fight that could be made. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is why I don't do no streams. I ain't coming on nobody's channel talking about this stuff no more. I am not doing no more debates about Bud versus Errol Spence on nobody's outlet, because it's useless. You wasting your time, because people only gonna want to hear what they want to hear. Like I said, Errol Spence can take his ass and watch a Mexican fight and show him some love, but he don't want to show his black brother some love. He don't want to let his black. But then everybody talking about, ooh, Errol Spence said he gonna ask Al Heyman for the book. Okay, man. If you really wanted that fight, you would have let Bud got in the ring. Oh, so it got to be on your terms, right? So you on some dictatorship, right? And like I said, I ain't got no problem with Errol Spence, but I just don't like when they be moving like that, because it's fake. So now that Bud is coming to the other side of the street, y'all wanted this. Like Tom Cruise said on Jack Reacher Part 1, he said, remember, y'all asked for this, so what's going to be the excuse now? What's going to be the new excuse now? What's going to be the new obstacles that's going to get put in the way now? And even if Bud do go to the PBC, he not guaranteed the Errol Spence fight. I already know what's probably going to happen. They gonna throw Bud a couple of solid fights. But what's going to happen is Errol Spence is going to say, well, I can't make the weight no more, so if Bud want to fight, he going to have to come up to 154. I promise you that. Everybody ignores facts from people that said this stuff out of their own mouth. Keith Thurman said out of his own mouth that they was offered a fight with Bud a few years ago. They said no. Danny Garcia said out of his own mouth. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Now it's gonna be somebody that's gonna listen to this video and start talking that stuff. But I want you to tell me where I lied at. Where I lied at. That's why I'm saying y'all gotta be careful with some of these dudes that be talking that fake pro-black stuff, because it's one dude. I don't know when I'm gonna put this info out. I'm either gonna do it the day of Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao, or I'm gonna do it post-fight, because I'm tired of this dude, and I'm finna blow his ass out the water. And when well, they are. That's what I'm saying. I sat up there and went to LA. See, nobody wants to hear this. I sat up there, went to LA, was at the Staples Center covering Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 1. Once again, Bud came to that fight. They showed Triple G on the Jumbotron, who wasn't a PBC fighter. But they didn't show Bud on the Jumbotron. Act like the man didn't even exist. But then you got these cornballs sitting up here acting like they don't know why Bud don't trust Al Heyman, or why he was hesitant to come to the PBC. Now, I understand the stuff about he wanted to stay loyal to Bob Arum because Bob Arum got him out of some kind of trouble a while back. But at the end of the day, Bob Arum has went out of his way to undermine and disrespect and devalue Terrence Crawford, and I cannot ignore that. So for those who sat up there and said that I'm Bob Arum's errand boy, which, by the way, your black motherfucking ass didn't know what you was talking about, because I haven't forgot that shit. I ain't never been Bob Arum's errand boy. But I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide, but because, a lot of niggas sit up here and pop off at the mouth and they don't know what the fuck they talking about. But nevertheless, you have to call it spade a spade. Bob Arum has contributed to Bud not being respected. But at the end of the day, my problem is that you had people that are fans of Bud, and you had these old goof troop ass PBC dudes trying to make it look like if you some fan of Bud, you some kind of sellout and all this kind of stuff. But these are the same dudes that talk all this pro-black stuff, but yet they was constantly demeaning another black man. And then we all know who was the ringleaders that started this stuff. We all know who was the main culprit that started this vendetta that divided the black community, where they divided and tried to tear the black community apart in behind Bud and Errol Spence. And I'm going to say this right now. You could be a fan of both. And anybody that try to tell you a coon or you a sellout because you support Bud and you a fan of Bud, fuck them, and they the real coons. Because the real coons have been the dudes that been trying to divide the black community, that been trying to divide and tear the black community apart in behind Bud and Errol Spence, when we both should be supporting these black brothers. And that's all I tried to do. And I didn't waver. I didn't let nobody make me feel bad. You think I care what some nigga over the phone think, or some nigga in the talking shit? You can't deter me. Like I said, we know who the real coons was. All the people that was sitting up here trying to tear the black community apart in behind Bud and Errol Spence. I'm gonna say this right now. You could be a fan of both. I'm a fan of both them dudes. I'm a fan of both of them. And then you had these dudes that had more vitriol for Bud than they did these non-black fighters. They had more vitriol for Bud than they had for Triple G, who went out of his way to duck the brothers. They had to twist his arm to get him to fight Daniel Jacobs. But they don't have that same, they didn't have that same energy though. And like I said, a lot of these niggas is fake. They fake. They not James Brown super bad. They super fake. For real. People just mad at me because they can't manipulate me. And people was mad because they thought they could manipulate me and they could try, you know what I'm saying, to try to coerce me into speaking bad on Bud. You know what I'm saying? And that they was just mad about that because they couldn't control me and other niggas couldn't control me. One, they not smart enough. And that's the real deal. That's what the real deal is. They ain't smart enough. You ain't smart enough to try to get me to go against for real. You ain't smart enough to get me to go against the grain because at the end of the day, we know who the real coons is, though. We know who the real coons is. One thing about me, I ain't never had to fake who I was. I ain't never had a whole bunch of different identities. I know who I was and I know what I was doing 20 years ago. But there are some niggas on here, they did so much different shit. See, I always knew who I was. Yeah, thank you for that. I already told you I'm gonna address a lot of shit. I told you it's zero tolerance for that. Keep continuing to clap their asses. Yeah, so that's what this has been all about, y'all. Come on, Timmy. You know the answer to that. You know the answer to that. You know the answer to that. I can tell you this much, Timmy. My son's mother is black. My son is black. Y'all know I'm black. I might be on a little bit of the light side. That's because my mother is real light-skinned. But that's, you know. But my father, he was a dark-skinned brother, man. Shout out to my pops, man. Shout out to my pops. Rest in peace, pops. Oh yeah, it's a lot of them. Yeah, it's a lot of That's who a lot of them dudes is. They just like that dude on Dope Menace and that dude. Rest in peace to the great Clarence Williams. Rest in peace. You know the character he played on I'ma Get You Sucker. Oh, it's a whole bunch of them dudes out here. Yeah, and they got complexes about it too. Cause like I said, I'm gonna drop this little bomb pretty soon because I got the receipts. And when you like I'm gonna tell y'all everything. I ain't got nothing to hide. And I'm like Jose Canseco. I'm naming names too. I'm naming names and I'm gonna tell you everything that happened. But on some real, ain't nothing wrong with being a fan of Bud or Errol Spence. You can like both of them. So anybody coming on here saying, "Oh, you have to like Errol Spence, but you can't like Bud," in the words of Bernie Mac, fuck them. Or should I say Trinidad James? Nah, Pacquiao, I have nothing to say about Pacquiao. Pacquiao took his damn drug test against Errol Spence. Case closed. I have nothing to say. Tyson Fury should be ran out of boxing. He should never be allowed to box again. I have nothing to say about Pacquiao. Pacquiao took his test. He been taking his test. Case closed. I'm done with it. For this fight, I'm done with it. Tyson Fury need to produce a... Bob Arum just talk like that. Look, man, Bob Arum is in cahoots with the other dude. Okay? The PBC wasn't gonna make no fights with Top Rank. Bob Arum and Al Heyman don't get along. But my thing is with Bob Arum is worth $200 million. He didn't want to be... And then here's the thing. This is what tripped me out. If the PBC is what everybody say they is, why didn't they go to a purse bid? Why didn't they say, okay, well, we'll foot the bill for Bud versus anybody on the PBC side? So why won't the BBC, like E40 say, since y'all got all the bread, why won't y'all say, well, let's do a purse bid? Okay, we'll foot the bill for Bud versus anybody, for anybody, except we get full promotional rights. You just get a licensing fee. You just get your promoter percentage, because that's how it works. They don't want nobody that's not affiliated with them to beat any of their fighters unless they're signed to them. Bud wasn't gonna get no PBC fights. Do not sit up here and try to tell me something that I already know, that I've been knew, that I've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. I already talked to everybody behind the scenes. I've talked to the WBC, talked to people with the WBO, talked to people with the WBA. And they all told me the people that was holding up the big fights was the people on the opposite side of the street, because they didn't want to do business with them. So since when do you believe anything that come out of Bob Arum's mouth? And I guess you forgot. And it's funny when Bob Arum say something that y'all don't like, then all of a sudden he lying. See, that's the problem right there. I've already went in on Bob Arum. I already just said what I had to say about Bob Arum. Bob Arum is 90 years old. Bob Arum didn't devalue Bud to the point to where you just look like, okay, your loyalty thing didn't expire. Everything got, for the most part, got an expiration date. At the end of the day, Zepeda is Bud's last fight with Top Rank, in all likelihood. Like I said, it ain't my job to tell people where to go, and I'm not gonna do that. But at the end of the day, I do have to report the stuff that Bob Arum has said. Here's the thing with Bud. You look at the history with a lot of these fighters. Oscar became a larger than life figure when he left Top Rank. We know what became of Floyd Mayweather. We know what happened. We know Manny Pacquiao got sick of Bob Arum. And Manny wasn't even really supposed to be. Manny wasn't even supposed to be with Top Rank. The only reason how Manny ended up on Top Rank was, which he had a bad advisor, or whoever it was, Michael Kons, whoever his advisor was. Manny Pacquiao has signed with both Top Rank and Golden Boy. And when he left Murat Muhammad, He signed a deal with both of them, which I don't understand how that could have happened. But Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya agreed to settle it in the ring. If Oscar won the fight, Manny would be with Golden Boy, and vice versa. Okay, we know what happened. Manny destroyed Oscar. He destroyed Oscar, but at the end of the day, they had all them stipulations in the contract. Oscar De La Hoya looked like Ethiopian of the Year, but he ended up winning, and that's how Manny Pacquiao got with Top Rank. And then towards the end, it didn't work out. Now, let's get to the Bud thing. Let's get to the Bud thing about the Manny Pacquiao Bud fight that we thought was gonna happen. They talking about the United whatever Arabs or whatever they call themselves couldn't provide proofs of funds. But I'm gonna tell you right now, real talk, Al Heyman wasn't gonna let Manny Pacquiao fight Bud. That fight was gonna get called to a halt regardless, because Manny Pacquiao owed Al Heyman one more fight. You really thought it, and it sounded good too. It sounded good too. But I knew, and I kept thinking to myself, Manny Pacquiao owed the PBC one more fight. How is he gonna go over and fight? And then I remember the whole, and then I knew he wasn't cool with Bob Arum no more. So there was some miscommunication, because y'all seen the interview with Bomac. It was some kind of miscommunication, but I kind of knew that something was gonna happen, because I was like, wait a minute. Now this interview happened like in the end of April or something. And I was like, y'all trying to get this fight for June the 5th? How y'all gonna do a promotional tour? So it didn't surprise me. Then I'm in Vegas, and then it get announced. Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. But here go the funny part about this. It's a legitimate fight for Errol Spence, but then when they thought Bud was gonna fight him, excuse me, they said Manny Pacquiao was too old, but he just right for Errol Spence. Go figure. And this is what I'm saying, how people change the narrative. It's easy to expose these clowns. It really is. But anyway, I'll be back. Gonna go to the gym.